Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Zane with Zane Skates, and first off, thank you to anyone who likes or subscribes to this channel. It's been incredible to see 400 subscribers. I really can't believe it. Just stoked on how many comments I get. People actually saying this stuff helps, these tips help, or just sort of this insight that I've been sharing with people and young skaters and new skaters at the skate park, and just if it helps you guys, it just makes me happy, and I'm just so stoked. And this video today is a little different. It's a little insight into who I am, and perhaps one day I'll make a video kind of explaining more about who I am. But I had the privilege of covering the X Games this weekend, and what I mean by that is I was commissioned by a skate magazine to photograph the event, and it was actually pretty sweet. I was able to cover men's street, the final, and there's a lot of amazing skating that went down. You're talking Mark Succi, Kevin Hoffler, Nigel Houston, Yuto Horigame, Jamie Foy. I mean, those names in themselves are just blockbusters. And yeah, I could sit here and go ahead and stroke these guys' egos and whatever, but I'm gonna talk about some of the insights that I had, and just sort of the things that you wouldn't be able to tell from just being a YouTube spectator, and sort of put you a little bit to what it was like for me on a personal level, professional level, but then also what I think you guys would like to hear. So yeah, without further ado, it was a closed event, right? So it's a private event, like COVID event, quote unquote. So it was just friends and family. So anybody who was in the seats and stuff was either a pro skater or pro athlete from one of the other contests, or they were working in the event in some capacity, or they were friends or family. So it had this really cool family vibe to it in a way that was really special. And so you look up in the stands and I see Jamie Foy's mom, Mark Succi's mom. Just the fact that they even come to the contest with their moms is, to me, is so cool, because you think X Games, these guys are the coolest people, whatever, and they're just dude, they bring their moms, which is so awesome, because they eat together and they meet everyone together, and you see Deshaun Jordan go up and shake blah blah's mom's hand, and I don't know, it's just super cool to see that. It was very heartfelt, and to see it no matter what team they were on, what shoe sponsor they had, they were all super really good friends. And the best of the best are just also the friends, because they're the coolest. It's a very what we as skateboarders strive to be and sometimes fail to be at skate parks or at skate events and stuff. So that was really cool to see the family vibe of it all. So one of the things that was kind of crazy, I'm gonna try to go professional and then personal aspects. This one was kind of personal. Is I technically wasn't supposed to be on the course, but I pretty much snuck on. I thought because I had a press pass, I basically had total access. And there's this one dude who was you can't be on here. But I kind of was just in my head I didn't really hear what he said. He was talking about something about a pathway. I don't know, but I was on the course watching them practice, basically, because I was told that I can shoot video, I can do anything during practice. And before I know it, the contest started. I'm still on the course, so I stay there. I'm shooting photos. All my friends start tagging me in videos, saying, "Dude, we see you on YouTube, in the live feed. You're behind Shane O'Neill. You're taking pictures of you. I see you, bro." And so it made for some really great photos, but I actually wasn't supposed to be on the course. So that was kind of a point of contention. And when I came back the next day for the women's street event, they in fact singled me out and were like, "Dude, you're not allowed to be on the course." And so I didn't get to get as great coverage of the women's event, and which was kind of a shame, because I was there for Women's Skate magazine, and I got the best photos that I could. I got podium photos and stuff, but there was some people there who were very rude. This one guy, when I first got there, before I even stepped on the practice course, he was like, "You can shoot, wait," and I was like, "But there's the podium, they're going to the podium, I need to go on down." He's like, "You can wait," and I was like, am I in the way, why? And then he's like, "Okay, you can go in the back." That was his words verbatim. And I don't know if you watched South Park, but he was literally the PC principal. Whatever, he's trying to do his job, and I don't take it personally, because I've been doing this long enough to know that if you have an ego in this stuff, it's just gonna slow you down. So I was like, all right. I went in the back for a second, and then I slid my way to the front. Dude, you're a skateboarder, I'm a skateboarder. Nothing's gonna hold you back if you want something. So when you're actually during the contest, in the skate contest, it's very difficult to hear anything that's going on. So you know, like how the skaters are always constantly checking the board to see like the place, like what place are they in. It's really like a way different type of event when you're in it. Like you don't really know after somebody skates like if they actually placed high. Like it's very difficult to gauge for the skaters as well. That's why you kind of always see them talking amongst themselves. And then Mike Sinclair, he's like basically the guru of Nike SB, but then he's also like friends with all these guys, so he's like always on top. So everyone comes to him and asks him like, dude, what's up, he's like, blah blah, you know, you're in second now, oh you're in fourth now, you're in fifth now. And that's why they always look so surprised. They're like, oh, like, oh. And really it's the event itself. Like from practice, the skaters basically all pick a line, and they basically stick to that line, and based on sort of if they need to place higher or if they didn't do so well, they might throw out a trick that's like harder. So like let's say they do a switch back lip in the line, and the next time if they're down they might try switch flip back lip, and you can kind of see that when you watch it. But it's very much like because they all see each other's lines, they kind of see like, okay, Shane O'Neill was doing switch big flip front board like every try in practice. Like he was, and they were all talking amongst themselves like, dude, if he has that during the contest, like he's gonna win, like because he's literally doing the hardest trick every try down this rail effortlessly. And same with like, you know, Jamie Foy on the rail, he's trying fakie flip to switch blunt down the rail. And so like they kind of like, everybody kind of knows, and it's cool to see because while knowing that helps push themselves when they need to, it's different. It's like you're inside a storm that's like literally evolving as you go. But in reality, it's still just like skaters just trying to do the best they can, just like at any skate park contest. All right, here's some just like random insights that like you might not know, but I think it's something that you wouldn't really know unless you were there. And one of those things is wax. Like pro skaters, it's a common theme, are wax fiends. Like they wax everything. And I think part of it is when you're so good at skating, you have such command of your center. You have such command of your weight. And if you watch my videos, I always talk about this because you really have to master this if you really want to get great. And that's what sort of allows not only the manipulation of the board, but for the obstacle to become obsolete, because you're essentially bending to the will of that obstacle to perform the trick that you want. So like, let's say Carlos Riviero is doing a switch front blunt down this long rail, which he's doing in the contest. He wants it so waxed that there's no resistance, that his weight, his positioning is all that he needs. And the second thing that I actually hear them talking about is like, if you're trying a trick like a switch straight flip board slide like Yuto was, the last thing that you want is to get stuck on the rail. Like you do not want anything to go wrong. If anything, you want to slip out. So like that's just kind of like their MO is they have such confidence in their balance in their center that the obstacle is obsolete. So they just essentially wax it so much that they just perform their momentum and their balance and their commitment, and they're going to land the trick. And I'm not suggesting that like you should go to the skate park and wax everything and that's who you want to be, but it's definitely something that you will notice, especially in contest skating, or if you go to a skate park and you see a pro there, you will notice that they do like to wax, and they wax a lot. Another insight too is like, so skaters have to wear certain things and they can't drink certain beverages, all because of their sponsors, which is kind of a no-brainer. But if you look at like Raisa Lail's hat, she has like a Nike SB monster hat that like you wouldn't be able to find like out in the wilderness. Or I forget what brand it was, but they came up to a shot. I was like, Shot, do you mind like clipping this to your shorts, like just so like they can have that logo on there? And the skaters understand this. Like if you look at their stickers on their boards, you see stuff from like, you know, P-Rod back in 2004 or whatever used to get, you know, people used to talk bad about him because he would have a Target sticker on his board, you know, and nowadays something like that would be pretty common. So you see kind of the adaptations that these skaters have to do to make their sponsors happy, and this is kind of what makes them professionals. And I don't know, it's just interesting. And like Jamie Foy, it's a hugely monster event. Like it's super monstered out, and he rides for Red Bull, and he can't skate or be filmed without wearing a Red Bull hat, and he can't be seen drinking Monsters. So like all his water bottles have the logos ripped off, and he can only drink water out of a clear water bottle. So just some insight to like that you might not think about, but yeah, pretty interesting to me. So one thing that was crazy at the skate park or at the X Games was basically Mark Succi broke his board in the middle of his run, and so he had to basically set up a new board like as quick as possible. And while he's like undoing his board, like somebody else out there is already doing his. He had a board on deck all ready to go, and then there was like some controversy over this, like, oh, they made everybody do a fourth run and then Mark Succi's run didn't count because he broke his board, even though it was on his last trick, and like basically his run was flawless before that, so he would have gotten a better score if they counted it. But because they threw it out, everybody got a fourth run, which I'm not sure that was true. I think they always were going to have 4 runs. If you watch the other contests before, Women's Bowl, I think they also had 4, and all of them preceding had 4. I might be wrong about that, but there was like a lot of comments like, oh, they added a fourth, like Vincent should have won because he was in first half of the 3, but I'm pretty sure everybody knew that there was going to be 4, and Mark, I think, got an extra run, and one of the runs he like started early, and they like, before the timer got out, it's a little weird, you know, like there's a guy there that's like, has an earpiece on, he's like, all right, you can go now. It's so, criticizers of contests are like, that's not skateboarding, somebody doesn't tell you when to skate, but whatever, it is what it is. And I don't know, it's interesting to see a guy like Mark Succi, who's like incredible street skater and, you know, cult following and all that, but he likes the environment. It seems like he in his own way protests the environment, but he also kills it and has a great time, and seems like he enjoys it, and he wants to win too. That's another thing I think a lot of skaters don't realize is a lot of these skaters want to win. I think they like skating at a high level. I think all really good pros do. I mean, why would you put your body through such pain, or like what you know, whatever. I'm not going to explain that, but it's cool to see the skaters really want it, in my opinion, even if it's a little jockey to some people, but I think it's really cool. So I guess for the closing thought I'm going to have on the X Games is one thing that really stood out to me was how I think the future of the X Games is women's skateboarding. I mean, there's always going to be men's skateboarding, but one thing I noticed is the women who are young women, like, you know, even just as young as, you know, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, they are the future. They are really good at skating. I think Chloe, I forget her last name, but she switch flipped a 10 stair in the middle of her run, like perfectly. She switch front boarded the rail, like Sky Brown. We don't even need to explain how great she is, but they're just like so good at being so young, and they're only gonna get better. Like Raisa, obviously, like these women are gonna catapult competition skating in a way that's more international, that's more representative, and I think that's gonna be sort of the crown jewel of skateboarding to come. And in many ways it keeps it back at its roots, where it's like just this challenging revolutionary thing, this just thing of like, you know, turn on the TV and sort of see, you know, a young girl can be sitting on vacation like I was when I was a young kid. I remember the first time I saw the X Games, that really exposed me to skateboarding and this whole world out there of like extreme sports, of like people could do what they want and like and participate in the environment in this reckless, like sick way that's super athletic, but also very artistic. Like little girls who might feel out of place or outcasted by like pink dresses and all this stuff, they're gonna see this and have like a complete new world open to them. And I think it's gonna be really great for skating. And I just really hats off to all those young women, and hats off to really all the skaters. So I'm gonna leave you guys with some photos that I took, and you know, I really hope this video is enjoyable for you guys, and you know, I hope too that you guys keep commenting on what type of videos you'd like to see, or if you'd like to know a little bit more about me and sort of my life in the skateboarding industry. So Zane Skates here, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great sesh today.